Hello all, Banlist season is upon us once again. We could literally be getting it any day now. So, content creator laziness, time for an easy video. Just me today, didn't invite anybody else for this, mainly because I've bored all of them with this boring concept. Anyway, you see all the cards here. I'm going to try to go through this as quickly as possible because most of this is pretty self-evident and a bunch of other content creators have said this already. So, let's jump right in. First and foremost, wish list would be that the Brave engine gets hit, but let's be real, Grand Creators is way too new. They're not going to hit this because they still want to sell it. But if they did, what exactly would be the hit? Well, obviously the best generic hit would be Griffin Rider because, I mean, if the engine loses their literal free Omni Negate, then that's really bad for them and it's not as good. But it's still a hell of an engine, even with just stuff like Draco back. I mean, bouncing cards is pretty good, I hear. What else would you do? I mean, you could limit Right and Water Enchantress to be able to hit the consistency of the engine. And then, I mean, sure, loses a lot of consistency, but I mean, decks like Phantom Knight would still be able to do it, because, you know, consistently going to Cherubini, maybe have decks run a small rank 3 engine just for that purpose. I mean, this is all just like, what would they do? Because I mean, we all know they're not going to hit it. But just any hit to this if they're going to do it. I would like to see any hit. I'm tired of seeing Brave this format already. We're gonna have to see it for another one because I know they're not going to hit it. But I have literally seen so many people quit Yu-Gi-Oh just because this format is so dog shit because of this engine. It's I mean, who's not sick of this engine, even if you're playing it? It's just, I just want to see it go. And then, other generic stuff, please hit this, it's past time. I know Scythe has lost a little bit of popularity, but I mean, this card is just stupid. And I mean, when I say hit Scythe, I mean hit Scythe, not the Scythe engine. I can see Konami doing something stupid like just hitting Dagda. But, I mean, if you just hit Dagda and you leave Scythe legal, then cool. Cards like Sanctum and Ignition still exist. So, like, can we hit the nail on the head this time instead of just bending the middle, please? This isn't a generic one. I just threw this in here because it's another semi-limited card. Nadir Servant, they hit it to 2 to hit the consistency a little bit, especially with some of the newer stuff coming out. Is it going to stay at 2? Is it going to go to 1? Or do they even bring it back to 3? I really don't know what they're going to do with this. I think it's more likely that they hit it to 1. I don't know how much I care, really. I mean, they could do anything with this card, and I don't think I'd have much of a problem with it, so I just threw this in here just because. DPE, is Fusion Destiny the hit? I don't know, but with just generic stuff in general, I do think that the hit is Verte, and something just straight up needs to happen in this card. I think this card just needs to go. This would be the most logical hit, because then every single deck loses its generic. Oh, 2 dead monsters, woo, right into Verte. That needs to stop. It's beyond time for Verte to go. It's too generic. It's too easy. And then, I mean, you can do whatever else with fusion cards. Like Branded Fusion's gonna stick around for a while because we literally just got the structure deck. But I mean, it's just Verte's the hit. Just please hit Verte. Enforcer is just. This card took over the meta as soon as it came out, and it's enabled by Verte in every single deck generically. Fusion Destiny to 2 was a pretty good hit, but I mean, Verte is the problem. Verte needs to be hit. Now, I could also see this card being put to 1 either in addition or instead. That, I think, would be fine as long as Verte takes a hit. But, I mean, if nothing happens to Verte, then, whatever. Then, Skill Drain. Yes, I know Eltledge is more so just a Saki, haha, you went up against the Eltledge player in bracket deck, but just putting this card to 3 was a mistake. There's ways to play around it. The Brave engine outs it really easily, but this does not need to be at 3. It's stupid, it's annoying, it's literally just like Imperial Order, but for monster effects at 3. Yes, Imperial Order was way worse, but in a lot of instances, I'd rather deal with Order than Skill Drain. I mean, there's instances where I'd rather deal with Skill Drain than Order, but I mean, this just putting this card to 3 was a mistake. Either put it back to 1 or just ban it outright. As I would love for either to happen, more so the ban, but just it's time for it to go. It was around for long enough. Other generic stuff. I think it is finally time for Needle Fiber to get hit. If nothing else, for the based deck showing us just how easily this card can be taken advantage of. I mean, it's always been generic and it's always enabled BS tuner stuff, but the base deck, which is literally, multi-broken engines .pile.deck, they just abuse this card. Now, I've seen the argument that, you just hit O-Line, and then what else are they doing? Needle Fiber is the problem. Please stop not hitting the nail on the head. We've literally banned every other tuner. I mean, I even have Jet Synchron and O-Lion up here to talk about, if Needle Fiber is banned, can they come back? Tangent, can they come back? I don't know, because these cards are both very good on their own. I mean, just free extender plus token. I know getting into these cards was a lot easier because of Needle Fiber, and I mean, if you ban Needle Fiber, then maybe these cards aren't as good. We'd have to test it. Could they come back? I don't know. I'll leave that up to both you, the viewer, and Konami. But my answer is I don't know, nor do I really care. But what I do know is that Needle Fiber is the hit if you hit any of this. It's time for it to go, just like it's time for Verte to go. They're both too generic, and they've been taken advantage of long enough. It's just time to end it. Please don't do something stupid and hit Auroradon, because Auroradon is not the problem. Also, if you think that that 001 is the hit, then just no. Just stop. Other ones, Zeus. I put this on here every ban list because there's always the people that think that something needs to happen to Zeus. I think Zeus is fine. Is Zeus oppressive? Yes. Is Zeus annoying? Incredibly. Is Zeus generic? If your deck plays like Z's, absolutely. I think Zeus is fine. It's not breaking the meta. It's an oppressive card, but I think it's fine because what are you gonna do? You would literally have to ban Zeus if you hit this, and Zeus is just not that big of a problem as far as the overarching meta goes. I think Zeus is fine. Finally, generic-wise, Snow is... I was more worried about Destrudo than Snow on my reaction to the previous ban list coming out. I was incredibly wrong. This card is just stupid. I'm tired of it already. It's so dumb. Now, I know that this card is heavily enabled by cards like Shooting Riser, which, I mean, you can answer that if you take hits to the base deck, if you hit stuff like the Brave Engine or Needle Fiber, and then, other rank 6 decks like Virtual World that take advantage of Beatrice. But this card is just, no, we don't need it. It's literally a walking not once per turn, and then its Book of Moon effect is just stupid. It shuts down so many plays for so many decks. It's just this card shouldn't have come back. I think it just needs to be banned again. Now then, let's talk about the two I guess best decks of the format, because I always want to try and touch on a deck individually. Prank Kids. If you think that the hit is any of the individual kids themselves or the field spell, just stop. The Link one's the hit. It has to be the Link 1 ban. What else is it gonna be? I've seen arguments to limit Doodle. Just no. The deck's still going to be able to play really well if you limit Doodle. Yes, they're not going to be able to do it more than once per turn, which is one of their better combos. But the deck is still going to be really good, especially since we know they're not going to be hitting the Brave Engine. I mean, you ban the Link 1, I mean, cool, you drew all your other broken engines plus 1 Prank Kid. Normal Summon Prank Kid, oh wait, can't link in the Link 1. That's the hit. Now, I have seen a funny argument to ban Battle Butler, because, what are they going to go into? Now, that's obviously incorrect, because they can still use the other engines to build a really good board around that, but I thought that was funny. If Konami wants to be funny, that could be something they do, because that sounds just... I'd be about it. I could see that happening just for the funnies, but in all seriousness, the hit is the Link 1, because, Prank Kids is a problem in this format. I know Prank Kids is only extremely good because of the Brave engine, but I mean, like I've said 100 times in this video, they're not going to hit the Brave engine because it's too new. You got to hit the Link one. Up next, I had Based. I kind of already talked about Based already. Based gets solved if you hit Verte and or Needle Fiber. Hopefully both. But, I mean, let's assume worst case scenario and they don't. What would you hit? The answer is, I don't really know, because like you hit Red Rose, cool. That just sounds stupid to do that. Like, would you do that? I think that E-Telly would be the hit. I had 001 over here to maybe talk about that, but like I said, if you think 001 is the hit to any of these decks, then just know Needle Fiber's the hit. But even if they don't, I think E-Telly would be the hit if you do that, because that's how they get into their tuners sometimes. And I mean, E-Telly just ends up being another copy of some of their hand traps. Ghost Ogre is still a pretty good hand trap this format, especially with the Brave engine still running around, and it's literally just 3 more copies of Ogre. So I mean, E-Telly would just be a generically good hit in general. But I mean, broadly speaking, Based is fine if you hit Verte and Needle Fiber, because then that deck just dies. So I mean, there's the format right there, all that we need to say. And then just other stuff that I have up here that I want to talk about. The limits of the previous list. Astrograph, I think, is fine to come to multiple copies. Pendulum still hasn't done anything. I know they're about to get beyond the Pendulum, but I mean, it's fine, I think. It really hasn't done much. Tiger's fine. Would I want this card coming in more than 1 copies? I mean, I've had to play against Lunar Lights after this card has come back to 1, and I understand why Tiger was banned, because this, not once per turn, resolving its effects, it's pretty stupid, and it's pretty annoying, but it's, at the very least, it's fine at 1. Could it come to multiples? I don't know. I guess I don't really care, but I mean, Tiger's fine. Destrudo, like I said in the section about talking about Snow, I was a lot more concerned about Destrudo. I think Destrudo's fine. Dragons are a fine deck right now, I think, if you again take care of Snow, because this card is stupid. But Destrudo's fine. Just leave it at 1. I think this card's okay. Monster Gate, I haven't heard anything about this card after the hit. I'm not really quite sure why they hit it. Maybe they were hitting that FTK deck that, like, what did it even do? It, like, took advantage of Outstanding Dog, whatever, and then, like, I don't know, you go into Gustav Max 4 times because of it, and then whatever else this did. Does this card need to stay at 1? I don't know. I don't know if they're releasing anything else in the future that, like, makes this card overly broken, so, I mean, I don't know. I don't care. Pot of Desires. Funny enough, as much as I was surprised they hit it to 1 in the last list and that I thought that this wasn't necessary, I do kind of like Pot of Desires at 1. 1, if nothing else, for the fact that now I don't really have to think too much about building my decks, because, like, I don't really play decks that you can play a Pot of Desires in, and if I do, I'm just like, cool, I don't have to fight for space for this card, just throw in the Saki one of. So, Pot of Desires, I kind of like it 1. I can get behind it now. And then next, Red Reboots. I pretty much have in here for the same reason as Skill Drain and then Imperial Lord on the last list. It's the Saki one of, and like the argument has come up more that this card has just been around for long enough. I could see them not touching this card as per usual, but I mean, the more I see this card, the more I just realize how dumb it is. I mean, you can only respond to it with Solemn Judgment pretty much, and it's literally a counter trap you can play from your hand, and it just shuts down any trap card whatsoever. Now, as much as I love using this card on trap decks and being like, haha, no you, and then proceeding to kill them, this card is kinda dumb, and drawing it as the Saki one of is just really, really stupid. So, I mean, they could leave it at 1, that's probably what they're gonna do, but I wouldn't mind this card being banned also. Finally, everybody's favorite section, talking about stuff that can come back more and or what happened to stuff that did come back. Gazelle and Circle, we saw Circle come to 2 in the previous list. Both of these cards could come to 3 today, and nothing is going to happen. I think this is definitely going to come to 3. They're probably going to do something with Gazelle as well. You can do it. It's not going to do anything. Hero Lives, I think it's fine to come to 3. I mean, heroes haven't really. I mean, heroes get really annoying when they have the cross out Declare Nibiru, and oh no, that's a problem. But I mean, heroes are fine. Dark Claw's annoying, but you know, let the heroes have some breathing room, I guess. Hero lives to 3, sure. Scapegoat, it can come to 3. Like, oh no, you can link climb with it. Don't do that. Yeah, on like turn 3, which let's remember what card game you're playing. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Turn 3 is you're funny. Raigeki came to 3 last list. Very, very funny, and yeah, I think Raigeki's fine. Is it annoying when you don't get to end on an Omni-Negate and your opponent just drops this and you lose your entire board? Yeah, it's really annoying, but I mean, in 2022, with how far the game's come, I think it's fine. If they drop it down more copies, if they drop it to 2 or put it back to 1, sure, fine. But also, if they leave it at 3, I'm fine with it. Finally, the banned cards. I always have to put Maxi in here just because, haha, funny joke about Maxi not being able to come back, always mandatory. Stop. Just stop. No. No Maxi. No happen. It no happen. Pot of Greed, I just want to see some chaos. They're never gonna do it, but put Pot of Greed to 1 for 1 format. Just do it. It'd be really funny. Harp, give it to Orcust. It can come back. Blaster, I'd kind of like to see Dragon Link with Blaster, because I mean, Blaster would be fine at 1, I think, because Dragon Link would be the only deck that could use it, and it'd be really entertaining to see what they do with it. Yada, I just threw this in here because I really, really want to see somebody try and build a Yada deck in 2022. It's just come on, let it happen. Let somebody try and do it. It'd be so funny. Just let somebody do it. Electromites, stop, please. Konami has thankfully not brought this card back, but no, you don't need it again. You're getting beyond the pendulum, which no, stop it. Colossus, always throw in here just because, yeah, no, just stop. It's too generic because you can literally splash in a Thunder Engine to do that. And as Alex from Team Satisfaction pointed out last list, do you really want to deal with Guru playing a Colossus package? Because they can do it. I don't want that. Speaking of Alex from Team Satisfaction, I always have to throw Danglong in here because I know that he sometimes watches these videos for my unfiltered dogshit opinion. Just no, look, listen, I get that you're mad at the Dino Glue Eaters for getting this card banned. I know you feel that Yang Zing was unwrongfully hit because of the Dino players. But I mean, it's a worm. The worm, my guy. Sword Soul exists. I know you've explained why you think that Sword Soul wouldn't play this, but it is literally a generic synchro monster. It's cool, you get to add the Yang Zing counter trap. I just read. Once per turn, send a worm type monster from your deck to the graveyard. I don't have Ashina. Send Ashina? Extend? I'm going second. I want to break my opponent's board. Send Vishuda? I want to add something back. Send Adara? It's just, we don't need it. I don't want to see it. Now, I know you have to play bricks to be able to do it. They're gonna build around it. It's worth it. This card is really, really good. Generically send any of their worms to the graveyard. That's pretty good. On top of that, they get to modulate level with that, so you can do funny synchro things with it. Just no happen. And I think that is about all I got for you. I ended up going a little bit longer than I intended to, but I mean, what else do you expect from me? That is about all I got for you. That is my unfiltered dogshit opinion. If you agree/disagree, the comment section is open and unfiltered as well. So have at it. And that's all I got for you. Bye-bye.